looking a little different today, adventurer.
Yeah, I know. We trying out a different look this time. I think it's kind of a nice look. We'll switch things up a little bit on this one. What's happening, Captain? What's new, kangaroos? It's your dandy, Candy. And today, we are going to be talking about how we put together this 1/12 scale swamp cabin that we made for our G.I. Joe Classified Series Dreadnok figure collection.
Oh, cool. I didn't know you were into Joes.
Oh, absolutely. I have the most encyclopedic knowledge of the franchise, but I did grow up with the show as a kid. It was one of the top 3 favorite shows that I was allowed to watch as a kid, next to Ninja Turtles and He-Man. Kind of picked up the comic books a little bit. Absolutely hated the movies. And it's been one of my favorite lines to collect ever since I was a kid. And one of my particular favorite groups in G.I. Joe is the Dreadnoks. I just find something very entertaining about the whole Raider look. It's very much inspired by Mad Max. And I love the whole espionage, costumes, disguise stuff that they do. It's just one of my favorite groups in the franchise. Now, like most of my life, the work for this video was just all over the place. So we're going to try to make as much sense as we can with what we got. And hopefully it comes out a little coherently for you. You know what I'm saying? So let's go ahead and get into it. Now, for the body of our cabin, we decided to go with a comic book short box. That's one of the ones that holds up to about 50 comic books for the base body of our cabin that we built around. Covering it over with craft sticks that we cut to different sizes and stained with a thinned down black wash to give it a rustic pallet wood look. Adding supports to the bottom of it to accommodate for the raised deck where most of our figures are staged.
Except for that one you got dangling off the side over there. What is that anyway?
Oh, him? That's Tiger Force Dusty.
Tiger Force Dusty?
Tiger Force Dusty.
Oh yes, I remember that little puppet. I thought you said you were returning him.
Yeah, and I know I said I was going to send him back, but we had so much shit going on, and I missed my window of opportunity to send him back. So I figured I'd either use him for custom fodder at some point in time, or throw him into a display somewhere. So yeah, that way, you know. So we made a little gator bait pole for him to dangle off of for shits and giggles. Kind of a when life gives you lemons, make limoncello type moment.
That's not how that saying goes.
That is what it is around this house. Now, even though most of our staging area is intended for the patio, the deck, we still wanted to have a visible interior you could see through the windows that we could also use for staging other figures, while also retaining some of the storage function of the box. So what we ended up doing was we made a half interior by cutting a piece of cardboard to fit for our inside wall and added a raised floor wide enough for figures to stand on. Is it an extra step that we didn't really need? Sure. But I think it looks cooler and it adds to the illusion that this is a building and not a box. We even added in some green weathered drapes that we made out of stained gauze and some tiny dowels, and salvaged a yellow LED necklace that we had on our comic shop display to give the interior and the deck some lighting. Thought it'd be kind of cool to light it up since I mentioned that it has lighting in it.
So, Candy, what do you think about the Classified series? I know a lot of fans were kind of divided about it.
And I would be one of those fans, to be honest with you, initially. Don't get me wrong, I like the Classified series. It's got its ups and downs, like most lines do. I think that the updated designs that they've gone with look really cool for the most part. I think that they got a really good solid balance between fan favorites as well as some of the more obscure cult classic characters in there. But the biggest thing to me is the size change. For most of its run, the Real American Hero franchise, which is what most people associate G.I. Joe with, because that's the longest iteration of the franchise, which started in the 80s, has for the most part been 1/18 scale, which is like 3.5 to 4 inch figures. This is great. This is perfect for play sets and vehicles, and especially troop building.
What is troop building?
Troop building is a thing that collectors like to do, where they buy multiples of the same figure, if it's like if it's like a faceless figure or just a generic looking soldier or something like that, to create troops. It's very popular, particularly with military stuff. But Star Wars is a very popular one to do it with, and G.I. Joe was a very popular one to do it with. And with it being in 1/18 scale, very easy to accommodate that, because 1/18 scale figures take up way less space than 1/12 scale figures do, which is the current iteration they're doing is 1/12 scale, because everything now is in 1/12 scale. It definitely takes your interest in wanting to buy huge battalions and troop build kind of out of it when you're looking at something that's going to take up a lot more space, and is also like almost $30 a figure now, sometimes 40, because they're trying to do 2-packs a lot. So it's great for my wallet in that I don't have to and that I'm not spending a lot, but it's not really great for the line that's really built on troop building, when you're more or less interested in just buying a couple of figures here and there and not like a whole bunch of them. So it's just kind of weird that they decided to switch it up. I mean, it's cool, but it's just weird they switched it up. Now, for our roof, we used a shoebox that we cut in angles on the sides and then glued down to make a wedge shape. Then laid down some tracks of corrugated cardboard that we peeled the paper covering off of and painted with some thinned down forest green and splotches of coral and pumpkin orange, finishing it off with a dry brushing of silver to give it a rusted tin roof look.
You better not start singing Love Shack.
If you see a plated sign at the side of the road, it says 15 miles to the... Now, some of the small things that we did on here that were just real quickies. For our windows, we used some clear plastic packaging that we cut to size and then rubbed school glue across the inside facing side to give it an aged, grimy appearance. Which, yeah, it kind of cuts down on the visibility of it, but I think it fits more with the tone of what we're going with than clear, clean window glass would. You know what I'm saying? Wood. There wasn't enough space inside to really justify having the door be operational, so it's just static. It's glued in place. But we did give it some furnishings, a little window to look through and a handle and lock on it, because fuck it, why not?
How are you going to get your guys in there if the door don't work?
It's got a hinged roof. Now, with most of the cabin at this point are done, it was on to doing the foliage and our ground base. For our ground base, we used a sheet of Foamular XPS foam board, carving and gluing it into a rocky-looking formation that's at least 2 layers high, which we went over with shredded up napkins and thinned down glue, followed by a layer of Mod and a brown base coat. Now, we're going for a deep in the swamp kind of look for this cabin. So we wanted there to be pretty noticeable overgrowth to our terrain. So we started out by mapping out where we were going to place our overgrowth, painting over the desired spots with forest green before laying down some glue and dropping that flock, which is noticeably a few shades lighter. But I find that difference in shade helps the flocking blend better and looks more like grass when we brush off the excess once the glue's dry. Now, around this point, we decided that we needed to fill in this opening in the front that we had here. So we built some quick little steps. It's just, again, fucking craft sticks that we cut to shape, glued into a thing. Wood. Now, for our foliage, we could have been special. We could have been extra. We could have been real fancy, Mr. Fancy, Missy Fancy Fancy. But I'm a lazy bitch, and sometimes I like to cut corners. So most of our foliage that we got on here, besides the vines, which we'll get to in a second, is just your basic run-of-the-mill green aquarium plants that you get at like your Wally World or your pet food shops or wherever, that we just cut and trimmed to place. Stuff that we thought looked kind of swamp-like, as well as these really neat looking squares of plants that we got at Wally World to act as like creeping grass up on the sides. For our vines, that we did do kind of by scratch. Basically, we took some hemp rope, jewelry rope, and we frayed it down to strings, like singular strings, and dunked them in a green wash, let it dry, and then glued them in place. I also did some rope around the tops and the bottoms of these and the gator bait up here, just because it kind of gives it more of that like rustic look that we're going for with our cabin. And now you know.
And knowing is half the battle.
Now we still got a few detail areas here and there to iron out, but I felt that it was good enough to go ahead and share with y'all how cool it looks and stuff like that. Because I think it really did turn out pretty good. Like even if you're not a big fan of toy collecting and stuff like that, I think it looks just good on its own, even without all the characters on it. I mean, it's just a really cool looking display piece, and it was really fun to make.
Well, it looks like you got most of the original roster already.
Yeah, we got most of them. We're just missing a couple of them. I had to cancel my pre-order for Monkey Wrench, and then I'll eventually get them down the road somewhere. And I think they still haven't announced Zanzibar and Thrasher yet, so still waiting on those two to come out.
What about Crystal Ball?
Crystal Ball's a Dreadnok.
Oh yeah, he became their spiritual advisor after Cobra fell.
That's kind of a cool looking character. I mean, honestly, I just ain't got the finances to really even be bothering collecting anything right now. But maybe one of these days, if I can find one at a reasonable price, who knows? Let's go ahead and finish wrapping this video up. If you didn't know, I am a bit of an artist, and I do have an Etsy shop.
Etsy.com/shop/candy-dandy-art.
Well, there you go. There's no displays or dioramas on the shop yet. It's mostly just paintings that we've done, as well as prints of some of those paintings. But we'll see about expanding our horizons if there's an interest in it or not. We also have a Venmo if you like what you've seen, you feel like helping out the channel, leave us a tip. You can check out our Venmo right there. And we're going to be doing more crafting videos, and they're not always going to be figure displays, but there are going to be some more coming up that we had planned. So in the meantime, this has been Candy Dandy. Thank you for your time, and I hope you have a good. That was a hot mess.
Well, but that's all the lines I get for this video? Where's my wine? You're going to hear from my agent.